Namaste everyone. I hope you're doing well and you're taking good care of yourself. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about how I became a yoga teacher and a yoga educator and what are the steps I followed, qualifications I gained over a period of time that I found were super helpful. And I also want to share how I'm trying to continue on my learning journey because learning never stops and it only gets better and easier with time. So let's jump right into all the info for this video and I can't wait to get started. Alright, so I think first and foremost, I was super fortunate to actually grow up in a yoga institution, and my father was the director of Kevalidham Yoga Center in Mumbai. And so I just lived and grew up in the ashram life, and it was just something that I fortunately inherited and was born into. And I say fortunately because I understand how lucky it is to be born into this environment. And so I was surrounded by yoga from a very young age, both the practical and the philosophical aspects. So it was very natural to me just to be doing asanas, to be going through philosophy texts. And I would say from the age of 5 until about 15, Kevalidham was my basis for understanding yoga, knowing what it is, and having access to that kind of teaching and learning. So, of course, the institution is in Mumbai, India, and I think that learning yoga in India and in Mumbai is so different from learning it anywhere else across the globe. And all the students that I speak to in my one-on-one classes and in my group coaching always say that, we're able to relate or understand better because you grew up in India and we get a different sort of worldview and understanding of the way yoga is taught in India from an Indian's perspective. So I think that's always helpful to know. And it also sets the cultural context for the way in which yoga practices are taught. And I think that can be really helpful. So that's how it began for me. I know that a lot of us may not have access to yoga from such a young age, but if you're a parent watching or you're somebody who's in close contact with younger kids, I would highly recommend getting them started from a young age because it makes a big difference to your body, it makes a big difference to your mind. And I have to say, even now, even if I haven't practiced yoga in like 1 or 2 weeks, if I'm on vacation, my body just knows the practices so well that I can just get back into it because of all the years of training since I was a kid. So the earlier you start, the better, and it really, really makes a huge difference. So that's what happened from the age of 5 to 15, and what I can remember in my earliest childhood memories. After that, when I was 15 years old, about I think 14, 15, I fortunately had yoga as an elective subject in my school itself. And here's another, I guess, coincidence or just miracle of life, right? The school that I went to, it was an all-girls school. It was beautiful. It had performing arts, yoga. It believed in cultivating creativity and, harnessing and expressing your soul's true expression. So I got really lucky because not all schools in India or Bombay or anywhere around the world are like that. So I again went to a school that really nurtured that capability in me, and it also taught me, how to just be a better speaker and communicator. So having said that, I had yoga as an elective subject in school, and so from the age of 15 to about 16, 17 to 3 years, we had yoga as philosophy. So we had the Yoga Sutras, we had all the, Ashtanga, 8 limbs of yoga, all the foundational philosophies of yoga practice I learned at a very young age when I was in school itself. So I had the impact at home, and then I also had the impact at school. And you can imagine from a young age having both your foundational places giving you so much access to yoga knowledge. It was like bliss, right? I had access to so much of it. And so I did that from the ages of 15 to about 16, 17. And then I went into college, undergrad. And now in college, what happened is I felt like for the first time in my life, I was in an institution that did not naturally have yoga or did not have like a club or any kind of facilitation for yoga practice. So what I did is I was like, okay, they don't have one, I'm gonna create one. So I created a health and fitness club in college, which was super useful as a platform to encourage people to practice, to help people move in that direction. And 7-8 years later, that club still exists and it's wonderful. Students are still a part of it, practicing and learning yoga. So that's what I did in my initial few years of undergrad until I figured out, what do I do now? And it was at this time that my dad suggested that I go in and take my yoga training one notch further and start off with my yoga teacher training. So as you can imagine, I spent a lot of years being a student, and it's only then that my dad felt that I'm now ready to even undertake yoga teacher training. Like, he wouldn't just say it before. I was also much younger before, so it would have been harder because you have to be at least 18 or above to get this training. But I just wanted to emphasize that because I feel a lot of times now, we'll practice yoga for a month or two and then jump into a yoga teacher training. And while I understand it's because we want to further and enhance our knowledge in yoga, I would definitely say being a student for a longer period of time helps you because you get to learn more. And then whenever you do go for your teacher training, you are well equipped and ready to actually be a teacher yourself. So I would say that spend time being a student. It's okay to be a learner and then finally jump in when you feel ready. So I was about, I would say, 1920 when I did my first yoga teacher training. It was called the Certificate Course in Yoga Education, CCY, which is a level 1 yoga teacher training in India. And this was about a 4 to 6 month course. We had practices for 3 hours every single day on the weekdays. And, we went through philosophy as well as practical. And philosophy was pretty intensive for us, right? Like, we had traditional yoga texts, we had yoga and mental health, we had anatomy and physiology, we had to understand how to apply yoga as a teacher, and then we had written exams which were pretty intensive. So it's not something where you can just go in and it's done. It's so much more than a couple of hours. It's really like an awakening that takes place. So that was my first experience as a teacher about 7-8 years ago when I was 19-20. And then after I finished that initial level 1 training, I continued college and I had to finish my undergraduate degree, which was in business management and marketing. So I finished that. And at the same time, in my final year of college, I sat down with my dad and we discussed that I should now go for my next level of training. So that's when I went for the diploma course in yoga education at the same time as my final year of undergrad. So that year was one of the most intensive years of my life because there was so much happening and I had this degree, like 2 degrees at the same time to pursue, but it was fantastic. So my diploma in yoga teacher training was a 9-month course, right? Every day, 9 months, teacher training, it's intensive, exams for 2 semesters. So you can imagine how much was packed into that. And again, this is a Kevalidham course. So I did it in the Mumbai campus, but the main campus is in Lonavala, and I will leave all the links in the description. So if this interests some of you, please feel free to check it out. Everything I am today is because of Kevalidham, and I would be more than happy if you were to check it out and, attend or visit the space if you like. So all the links will be in the description. So that was what I did for my diploma course. And then I won a scholarship, got into King's College London, went to London for my master's program. I studied media and communication. So this is why I love what I do, right? Because I studied this and I studied TV production and it was fantastic. I was there for about a year. And after a year, I knew I wanted to come back because I wanted to be self-employed. I wanted to be an artist, speaker, performer, teacher, everything. And that's not possible in a foreign country, right? So I had to come back home and be self-employed. So once I made it back home, I got started with teaching, and I was teaching on my own a little bit and also in Kevalidham as part of the courses. I was teaching yoga and mental health for a long time. After that, I actually got hired by India's leading fitness company called CureFit or CultFit. So I worked in Bangalore for a little while as the digital yoga content lead. And if any of you are from India watching this, if you check out Cult, you'll see some of my videos in the app. So that was what I did. So I finished like training, and I had obviously had a lot of years of practice, almost like a big head start, right from the age of 5, and then all the way up till the age of like 22, 23, I was doing it day in and day out, teaching, practicing, along with my undergrad and postgrad studies of business and media. So it was everything like happening together. And then finally in the year 2022, I decided that I'm ready for my master's in yoga education and Yoga Shastra. So that's what I decided to do on a part-time basis, because I'm like working, I can't completely go and do a full-time degree. So I did that, and I'm currently still pursuing it. I have my last semester to go. And after that, my aim is to do a PhD in yoga as well eventually. So that's sort of how I plan to do it. My master's in yoga is called the MA Yoga Shastra. It is by KKSV, and it's a wonderful course. I'm doing it in Mumbai, but you can also do it in Kevalitham, Lonavala. And yeah, it's fantastic. There's a lot of master's courses available in India across leading yoga institutions. So I would highly encourage checking those out. In Kevalitham, what I do know is in Lonavala as well, you can pursue a bachelor's degree in Yoga Shastra, which is amazing. That's like a 3-year course. Sometimes I wish I had done that, but then I was in Mumbai and I was doing business management. So I did the best I could simultaneously. But a lot of people go and live in Kevalitham for 3 years doing their bachelor's degree. And then after that, of course, you can do your master's degree. And some people, of course, again, live in Kevalitham while they pursue that. And after that, you can do a PhD if that's what you want to do. I might do a PhD from Mumbai University, which is in Mumbai itself, or I might choose to do it from Kevalitham via KKSV. I'm not sure yet. It depends on how next year pans out, but definitely committed to pursuing that path. And yeah, I think that's about it for my yoga journey so far, and all the different qualifications and how to move towards them. As you can see, for me, I grew up in Kevalitham. My family belongs to the institution, so very naturally for me, all my degrees, learning courses are from Kevalitham. And I would say the next most influential institute for me was Auroville and Sri Aurobindo Ashram, because my teachers from school belonged to that ashram, and I learned a lot about it from there as well. And even my best friend's family really believes in Sri Aurobindo, so I have a lot of that influence. And at the same time, I think my practical teaching and my asana practice really flourished because of Cult and my time in Bangalore and CureFit. So I would say I've been blessed with like some of the best mentors and teachers, and that today is what has helped me to be able to share and offer my learnings and my teachings so far. So I would say keep learning, keep practicing, keep aligning with the institutes that speak to you the most, find teachers that speak to you the most, and continue on your journey. And like I've been saying, we are doing one-on-one private coaching and training for yoga teachers, for yoga enthusiasts, just to learn more about yoga and the practice. So if that's something that interests you, please feel free to join us, and the links will be in the description below. Aside from that, if you have any questions on what yoga qualifications you should pursue and how you can go about attaining them, please feel free to write it in the comments section below, and I would be happy to answer them. But overall, I would say if you love the practice, just stick with it. You will be able to find the right courses, classes, teachers, guides, and mentors. And honestly, everything just aligns when you have a true heartfelt intention and desire. So stick with it. All the right things will come your way, and we're always here to help you if you need any help or guidance. So that's all for my yoga journey, and I'm looking forward to continue to be a student, learner, and practitioner. And as always, I can't wait to speak to you, get to know you, and connect with you further. Thank you so much for your time and for believing in us. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And we will be continuing with the Sankhya series, just getting our production process into place, and then we will get started. So I'll see you in the next one. Have an amazing, amazing time, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.